Is there such a thing as too many one shots? Not like the drink, but like the cinematography style. Well, anyway, this and more as we talk about the Birdman, the bird myth, the bird legend, Birdman.
Sipping on Cinema begins in 3, 2,
1. Welcome to our very
1. Oh, go ahead.
We did our own hold music for our thing. But welcome to Sipping on Cinema, not with, like I kept
We're making
doing.
so much progress.
We really are. And speaking of progress, let's talk about the drinks of the day really quick. I have a salty caramel whiskey from Old Smoky, Tennessee. So last time I did a straight one.
Old Smoky.
Tasted like gasoline. But this time I put ice in my cup. So
this one is screaming weekend barbecue. Yeah, I'm liking
God,
it.
I hope it tastes good.
Caramel apple, you said?
It's salty caramel.
Salty caramel, excuse me. Is it caramel or caramel? Or caramel?
Caramel.
Caramel? Caribou coffee.
This literally smells like caramel. Thank God.
This is from the same liquor store you went to for the Iron Man episode.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's fine. It's good.
I'm drinking the same Jefferson's I drunk. Drunk?
Drunk?
I'm drinking the same Jefferson's whiskey that I drank for the Iron Man episode. I don't know. Holding this whiskey glass really makes me feel like Tony Stark at the beginning of that movie. So I'm kind of just holding on to that for as long as I can. I've almost finished this bottle from my brother. So I'm going to kick this. Yeah.
That guy might be polished off.
Yeah, we'll finish it tonight. Yeah.
Ooh,
I'll have a new bottle next episode. Yeah.
Ooh, nice. Well, that sounds like a good plan. Well, anyway, we are talking about Birdman, one of my absolute favorites. And, when we started this season, it's harder for me to come up like, what's your favorite movie? It's the same thing when people ask me about music. What's your favorite artist? And I'm like, well, that depends. Like, are we talking about legacy artists? Are we talking about artists I'm listening to right now? Like, it's such a hard, complicated question for me.
Right. It's like asking, what's your favorite joke?
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense,
It doesn't. What am I going to say? Like, it depends if I'm in a black humor mood or if I'm in a slapstick mood. Did I watch an Apatow movie? It all depends.
But Birdman is your favorite movie?
Birdman is probably my favorite movie. It was definitely on the list.
Can we know what the other candidates are for Bethanne's favorite movie?
Candidates? Not revealing my list.
What's your top 5? Do you have a top 5? Or is this the type of question that really makes you go, well, it depends on, the situation? Because it seems like I'm being the person you're describing right now.
It's like, it would be an easier question to ask, who are my favorite directors? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because
yes,
it's easier for me to pinpoint that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Who's your favorite artist as opposed to what's your favorite song?
Yeah, that's exactly
I get it. I get it. Okay, so who directed this one?
So this one was directed by Alejandro Inarritu. So this is Alejandro Inarritu, part of the Mexican trio of Guillermo del Toro and Alexandre Cuarón. But yeah, I am super excited to be talking about this today. And so I want to talk about first impressions of the film. But before going into mine, I want to talk about yours. What was kind of your first impression watching this? Have you seen it before this?
Yeah, I had seen it a few times actually. I think I hadn't seen it until like maybe a year or two ago though. Ethan Simi, host of 15 Minutes of Marvel Pod, he does 24 minutes of A24 too, I believe.
Yeah.
We go way back, but he recommended this movie to me because it was something that he regards as a really good piece of cinema. And so I've always thought it was great. I just think it's really funny that we start with Iron Man and then we get this one as our very next beat. And it literally puts Iron Man on the screen and basically tells us like, this is going to be the other side of that coin. So I mean, my first time watching this, I was blown away. Because I just thought it was so well put together. I didn't even realize it was a one shot at first because I was just so invested in what I was watching. And I was like, oh my God, like I've just been watching him walk around. Like it's obviously not like on a linear timeline. It's not like a one shot, like you're following 2 hours worth of this guy's life. But the way that they cut it is so seamless. And one scene bleeds almost too well into the next where I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't even realize this was like later on in the evening. But I really like this movie. And so when you said that you were going to put this one as your first one of your favorites, I was super excited.
Yeah. I think first impressions, going back to when I first watched it, when it first came out, I actually watched it. I rented it back in the day in a hotel room. So like when there was still, you could rent on a TV. And I remember just sitting there in awe the whole entire time. And it wasn't so much just like the one shot element, although that was cool, right? Mm-hmm. It was, we love an artistic moment. It was like Boyhood, right? We love the idea of a film that took 30 years to make. Right. But it was also just how the story and the acting around it just really, because you're very established, there's one shots, it allowed the actors just to get more and more and more and more, off the wall.
Yeah.
It was a full
acting clinic.
It's
really
about mania at a good point of it. Mm-hmm. And so that I think is the coolest element of it, but we can talk about more of like the different pieces that we liked. I want to go back to what you were saying about Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man, and just like, it is so funny. Like it was just not planned for it to line up that way, where you would talk about Iron Man, we would talk about this.
It's the perfect contrast. It shows that we are the perfect co-host for a show like this, because
I know.
Like I said, it's two sides of the same coin. This one I really enjoyed because it really is like Iron Man in a sense that like it's a guy who's like really trying to do something with his life, and he's really trying to like prove his purpose. Like he knows or at least he thinks he knows what he's supposed to do. And the conviction that goes with that is unparalleled. But it's funny because like everyone in this movie is like so beaten down by life, and they've just kind of accepted it. Whereas like a movie like Iron Man's like full of hope, and everyone else is like trying to get the main character to be better. And in this one, you kind of get that, but at the same time, they're reminding him of how he's not better and how he's kind of a piece of shit. So
yeah,
I really enjoy how this took like a huge left turn from where we started, but
it's
at the same time, it's all so relevant.
Exactly. It's like a piece of shit that's celebrated, Tony Stark, and then a piece of shit that is truly everyone fucking hates him. And that's Michael Keaton's character.
Since you brought that up, I thought that was such an interesting theme in this movie, that the actors were so bogged down by their own shame and like lack of confidence or self-worth, and it really just felt like they were acting in their own life, like 24/7 they're just trying to put on the show that they think they need to put on, but like when they were performing, the audience was always so into it. Like, and other than the one time where Mike kind of threw things off the rails and everyone started booing, like the audience loved them. Like they were doing good, and people wanted more of it. So like the draw that they had, but yet they couldn't see, was such an interesting element to explore, that like it was just never good enough,
But that's kind of the thing. I love the tortured genius genre of film, so to speak, because, it is about the mania that goes behind the scenes, right? And how these tortured poets really just bring in that to their performance. And why is that so appealing to us when we see mania on stage versus it behind the scenes? And
it was such an interesting look in on like Broadway, and like the pain that the actors put themselves through, like the way that they feel like they have to I don't know, like grind to make it or whatever. It's like they
Right.
put themselves through some crazy things.
No, exactly. And I also like, it's also kind of a film that's like people think you're crazy until you're gone kind of thing. Not to sound conspiracy theorist like, not to be
I like
confused
that.
with
I like that a
conspiracy
lot.
theorists. But that's really the element of this is like, we think about the Vincent van Goghs and, who died tragically and it was after the fact, right?
That
Not
he's
so
regarded
crazy
as one of the
anymore.
greats. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was the
No, that's a
same
great
kind
point.
of
I mean,
pull of
yeah.
this.
No, I agree. I think that's a really interesting theme that they explored was like that he was, I mean, kind of losing it, but it's about finding the genius in that insanity, and some people do. And in this case, Reagan may not have, but I mean, then you have the added element of like this interesting, weird, like telekinesis that he can only tap into when no one else is
Right.
looking. And like then it adds that layer of like, okay, is he really crazy, or like is there an actual like supernatural element to this? Because like he has that voice that makes it sound like he's just wacko. I mean, like,
Yeah.
who's your disembodied shame voice, by the way? Because like his was like a deeper, darker Michael Keaton. Mine is probably Jim Carrey's Grinch, if I'm being honest. Like it, like
I love this. What a
Who would
great
yours-
question.
Who would yours be?
Well, how do I talk about this having OCD? Because it's kind of like, because
So
that's
who would be
basically
good
what
for
OCD
judging
is
your
like.
every movement. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly right. But if I had to assign a personality, so to speak, to it, it probably sounds like Danny DeVito.
Danny
If I
DeVito.
had to take a guess,
I
just
like that.
constantly making smart remarks.
Yeah.
And like,
Yes.
what I'm
Right.
saying? Always,
It's like there's a
never
layer of
letting me off the
sarcasm
hook
to
for
it.
the shit.
Yeah. Like
Exactly.
you really thought those dishes wouldn't be there in the morning? Like,
Fool.
yes,
You know what I mean?
I hear it. I can hear it.
Elements of that. That
That was a great part of the movie, though. I mean, I could really. That was like convicting almost to me, because like I could really relate to that, where he's just constantly wrestling with his own doubt,
Yeah.
and his own self-worth. And I mean, because like to him, that was where he peaked, and since then it's like that version of him at the highest point is talking down to where he is now, and but it's all in his own head, because if you look around him, he still has everything that's important to him, or that should be important to him. And all that's missing is the fame and success that he had a taste of, and so that's
lost. Yeah.
It's kind of just taken over his entire psyche. It's crazy.
And that brings up like something I think about a lot with this film, and that's the casting of Michael Keaton as Reagan. Because if you think about it, it parallel. I mean, we all know this,
It's
right?
super relevant.
I'm not breaking the news here. I mean, it sounded like I was, but it parallels to Batman.
Tell me more about this, because when I watched Birdman for the first time, I was looking at it like, did he write this? Because like it literally felt like something that he would express after having been Batman for however long, and then there being like 3 or 4 more Batman after that,
Yeah. And it's something about, I think all directors can do this really well, but it's something about the Mexican trio directors. I don't know if they like talk about it amongst themselves, but like they literally write their roles for people they have in mind. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
so this movie was like put together with, he's thinking of a Michael Keaton type character.
Literally wrote Shape of Water for the antagonist female. I can't remember her name right now, but like wrote the role for her. And
Shape of Water.
Oh, Shape of Water is pretty good. It's pretty good. Michael Shannon's very good in it. But I think that's why Michael Keaton, he should have won the Oscar. I still will never forget when he didn't get it. And I think it was Eddie Redmayne that got it that year. And he tucked the speech back into his breast pocket. Yeah, because he thought he was going to win. And everyone was predicting he was going to win. But Eddie Redmayne won for The Danish Girl, which was a good film. I got nothing bad to say about it. I think this was Michael Keaton's role, though. And he was, he was able to pour so much into this role
Mm,
because he's lived it. Like we were talking about,
right.
like it just feels like he wrote it. But I also have to note like how this invigorated his career. Like once we saw like, oh, he's not just like a monotone, low graveling Batman character, right?
Hmm.
Or he's not just, Beetlejuice with the funny voices. He can be, he's not just Jack Frost,
Sure.
okay?
Right.
Like
No, there was
he's
some
not a fucking
serious depth
snowman.
to this character. You're right. Yeah. I mean,
Exactly.
every scene, it was like you were peeling another layer back to learn more about this truly twisted and turned around character that is just trying to make sense of the situation he's found himself in, when really it's all his own doing. So like that, it's super complex, and he plays it so well that you really feel for him by the end of it, even though the things that he's doing are completely nonsensical.
Yeah.
I think Keaton was a perfect pick. And yeah, like you said, it seriously does feel like it was about him. And I think that's a lot like the first movie we talked about, where the story kind of parallels the person that's telling it, like with Robert Downey Jr., his come up as Iron Man ended up being kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy,
Yeah.
And
That's a
in
good
this
point.
case, it's a little bit different, where it's more of a telling of like the experience he's been through, where he may have felt, chewed up and spit out by the superhero films. I mean, they're nothing in the 80s like they are now, but when he was Batman, I mean, yeah, not everyone was on board with it at first, but he was good as Batman, and
Yeah.
people still remember him as one of the better Batman, and even now he was in the Flash movie as the old grizzled Batman that they went and found. I didn't watch the
I
Flash
didn't see
because
it, but I remember
yeah, I mean that
them
there's
putting it in there.
a
Hey,
list of
look,
reasons
Michael
why I
got
won't put
paid.
that one
I'm
on, but
happy for Mike.
right, yeah,
I'm
but
happy
you
for the
got to see.
man.
I think Nicolas Cage was Superman in that too, but they like totally
Oh
CG'd it
yeah,
or
they
something,
pulled the
and
Kevin Smith moment. That's right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those guys.
That
Those
movie, we
guys.
should put it on. Just that's a movie to drink during, but that's not sipping.
I,
That's take
I
a shot
that's
every
a
time
drinker.
Ezra Miller does the weird run.
That's a Jello shot, dude. Every
The
time
Conor
we think
McGregor
about
walk, but
Ezra
in fast
Miller
motion.
breaking a law, we drink. And we will be dead. We will
We should
be
already be
dead by
5
the end
drinks
of
in
it.
just since we hit record. But I don't even. How did we get here? Michael Keaton
talking-
legacy. But yeah, I mean,
Michael Keaton legacy.
even after Birdman came out, he went and leaned back into the Batman thing, and it's like, it's funny because like it makes you think like, oh, maybe he did have those rumblings in his head, and he finally gave into it a little bit. He's like, well, if you did go back and make a Birdman 4, they'd be eating out of our palms or whatever he said.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
I thought that was a great element because it really made you understand like it was his past that was eating at him, and keeps him from being present, is that he's so attached to what he used to be that he
Right.
really can't understand what life is for him anymore.
And that's such a commentary on
yeah, yeah.
those superhero
I can really relate to that. Yeah.
cinematic universes as a whole, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I think, speaking of a really quick thing before we get into what we liked, what we didn't like, what's hilarious to me, and it just dawned on me while we were speaking. So literally, it reinvigorates his career. One of his first roles being back is in Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming. And what do they make him? The freaking Vulcan character, right? Vulcan is his name?
Vulture, yeah. They made him literally a mechanical
They made him a
vulture.
fucking bird.
They made him a Birdman.
They literally is like, holy shit. You know what?
Oh my
we have
gosh.
a role for you, dude.
Oh
and they
my
literally
gosh.
typecasted this motherfucker as a bird. Like,
He can't escape it.
Is the irony lost on us?
He's accepted
that's all
it.
I'm saying.
He has finally reached the point that every other character in this movie has already reached, in that they've accepted who they are,
Right.
and they're just going to keep doing that. Ed Norton's character, who was just, I mean, is he not the epitome of a theater kid, or is he just totally insufferable?
No, he's a theater kid, which are insufferable, and I can speak as a theater kid.
He lives life by the rules of the theater, and I gotta say, I've never enjoyed him so much in a movie while also hating him as much as I did. He was the best thorn in your side that you could have in a movie like this. But it's funny because like the chaos that he brings is like, it's so uh in relation to the success that you can find in show business, you know. You kind of need like a firecracker like that, but he knew that and was like owning it and taking advantage of it even. And I feel like everyone kind of did that with their respective roles in the industry in this movie.
Oh yeah. No, I agree. I think everyone brought that theatrical element. Even like Emma Stone, who wasn't technically part of the theater production, brought a good amount of theater as well.
I have to say, and I know this is controversial, but this is the first movie I ever saw where Emma Stone made me go like, damn, that was good. Like, I really enjoyed her in this movie.
Yeah, she was really good in this film. I think it was like pre La La Land, right? So like we're still getting to know Emma Stone as an actress at that point. And yeah, she did a great job just like showing what, you know, she's made of for this. I mean, going past Easy A and Superbad.
What else has she been in? I mean, other than the Spider-Man movies, and what was she in Zombieland? She was in Zombieland. Oh shit, right?
I forgot she was Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It allowed her to branch out into the Oscar world.
You can thank her for like half of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man story at this point, because when he was in No Way Home, that was like his entire character was, I don't have Gwen anymore. But Emma Stone, like even with all that, I had never really enjoyed her that much. But in this, especially the scene where she really like lays it on Riggin and tells him like, you don't matter, like you don't fucking matter, like really going in on him. I was just there with my jaw dropped. Just I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. No, she killed it. Well, let's get into film elements that we liked. I'll start with just one thing. And I realized I wrote like 5 things, but that's okay.
My list of things I liked is much longer than the things I didn't like.
I mean, also like who wrote the rule? It had to be 3 things. I don't know why.
Mine is,
I think
I have a point A, B, and then like 7 sub points for each one. So I follow no rules when it comes to this.
Oh, I hear you. Okay, so things I liked: the fusion between the physical and psychological worlds that live in our heads, like we kind of discussed, where he's doing all these telekinesis things. We don't know if it's real, but I like that both live there.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's a really cool segment. And then we've already talked about the cinematography. It's done right. I love that cinematography so much. And I know it's like, oh, it's artsy. It's one shot, but it's something about it's like
supposed to be artsy. That. That's the whole personality of the movie, is that it's all in the name of art. You know, it's like it, even when it isn't, you know, like, cause Riggin is very self-driven and it's very image-based for him. But he still brings a level of passion to acting that you can only find when you really care about what you're creating, you know?
Yeah.
And everyone displayed that in one way or another in this movie, but the one shot, some people are going to say like, oh, you can tell it's what, it doesn't matter if you can tell. Okay. It's about the experience. It's about you going seamlessly from one section to the next and experiencing the most visceral elements of it without having any time to breathe. Because with these actors, it's always one thing to the next and they're always working on something. So I like that that you're always kind of taking something in and it's right to the next thing. There's no downtime or room to prepare or anything like that.
No, I agree 100%. And that's like, you know, it's okay for things to be artsy. I think sometimes we get a lot of backlash in the like Oscar world. Sometimes some of it is well earned. I'll talk a little bit more about this on pieces I didn't like, but sometimes it's okay to have elements that we don't normally see and we don't have to drum our nose up to it all the time.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, Sam Raimi is a director that I think gets that a lot, where like most recently with Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, he did a lot of like editing transitions that like were questionable, or like there were a couple scenes where, you know, the music overlay with some of the dialogue, you know, felt different. And it's like, people just kind of turn their nose up at it. Like it just for the fact that it's different. If it doesn't hit for you, that's one thing. But if you're just saying that it shouldn't be there, I don't agree with that.
No, I get that for sure. And then my last element I want to talk about that I just find really cool is the drums that are in it. Like that was
Mm,
pretty much the soundtrack. And
yes.
I don't know if it's like implying like, drums, they kind of tell you the pace of things, right? So like if the
Yeah, I
drums
got
weren't
that.
there wouldn't really be a pace unless you were picking up on the dialogue or picking up on like we usually use editing. We use
Uh-huh.
those quick cuts to
Right.
pace it out. But that doesn't exist here. And so maybe by the
Mhm.
dialogue you can tell if it's, moving or not. But the drums are such a driving force that it's almost just this like it's almost just goes into the back of your head. And then when
Right.
it really starts dialing up and really starts dialing up and you start seeing the actual drummers and it just helps the movie pace into those nosedives of just full mania.
Well, and
And
you talk
I
about,
think
like,
that's
the
like my favorite
pace.
element.
The tempo of it was like the way they started the movie was with that jazz beat where there was no pace, where
Right.
like it's strictly jazz is music where you're breaking the rules on purpose. You're
Mhm.
bending and twisting music in a way that's unique and in a way that people aren't expecting, or in a way that's going to keep the listener on its toes. Right? They started and ended the movie with that, with random imagery and just kind of like teasing certain elements, like the dead jellyfish on the beach. You
Right.
just get a quick glimpse into that story of Reagan's life later on, but it ends up being like a super crucial detail.
Yeah.
But like it's all distorted and disorganized, and there's no real rhyme or reason to it. And then when you do find those drums and you see that background beat, it almost brings a level of certainty or comfort, almost, where you kind of settle into the setting a little bit. But I like how it ended in or started and ended with that, because it all takes place on Broadway, where it's always the hustle and bustle, and nothing makes a ton of sense over there. But I really did enjoy that element. I think it's a big reason why you invest so much into the chaos, is because even that kind of makes you feel it a little bit without noticing.
Yeah. No, and that's an interesting point about the random cutscenes that happen in there of just random elements too and how
It's
that
a
plays
look into his
together.
brain. This is what he deals with every day. It's just
Yeah.
constant input, and there's no real way to kind of anticipate it or align with it. It's hitting him constantly, and it's how he responds to it that we see in this movie. So I think it's a pretty cool telling of that story.
Yeah, that's super cool. Well, tell me about your film elements that you loved or liked or just said, you know what? Neat.
Well, if I could have watched this again and known that Edward Norton was going to be on stage with a half chub, I probably would have skipped past that part. But I mean, other than that, I mean, if
Not
you're
the
not,
half chub
I mean,
lusty.
I he was fully unhinged in this movie. I loved it, but it was just that was so uncomfortable to watch.
Oh yeah, that's an
Oh
uncomfortable scene.
man. But that's showbiz,
They played
baby.
it good.
Yeah, he did. It was visceral for real. But the only thing I'd say about this movie is, if you're not going into it knowing that this is art made for artists, if you're not really in the mood for being pretentious in certain elements, it might come across as a bit self-righteous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily the movie's fault. A mindset is everything, and so is perspective. But if you're not in the right mindset, watching this movie, you may walk away going like, man, like, they really think a lot of themselves, huh?
Mhm.
But I think that was a main message in the movie. I thought Michael Keaton and Lindsay Duncan, their characters, had a really awesome back and forth about like the celebrity tarnishing of modern art, and like the facade of public criticism. Like that conversation was maybe 2 minutes, and it was so efficient in the story that it told, because it spanned to the whole message of this entire movie, where Michael Keaton's trying to find his way and create something that he believes is special, but it's about how it's being perceived too. And so
Yeah.
Lindsay Duncan's character really brings a different perspective that is necessary for stuff like this. But again, if you're not in the right mood for it, it kind of comes across as like, holier than thou in certain
Yeah.
instances. But
That was my like didn't care for element because um it was just like, I'm not going to accuse the film of being highbrow, right?
Mhm.
Because I think you can interpret it that, and that would actually be okay to interpret it as that. But I personally wouldn't, because I don't think that's what it's going for. But, I think sometimes it's a film made by artists for artists, and sometimes we get carried away sometimes in those spheres. So I wish there was a way to like bridge those audiences better.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? For like,
Yeah.
I don't want to call it the layman because that feels insulting, but that's the only word I can think of at the moment. But like that world and the creative world, how do we bridge a movie for both audiences?
Yeah, it's
That's
tough.
just nitpicking.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's you can't be perfect in that sense where, you're going to put out a movie where you're going to know how everyone's going to receive it. But I kind of appreciated that about this movie, is that it was really bold in a sense where it just wanted to tell everything how it was, it was just a very raw and real kind of pull the curtain back on Broadway, if you will.
Yeah.
And, that's for both actors that have spent their whole life trying to make it in Broadway and actors that are maybe falling back on Broadway because they haven't found success anywhere else, So I thought it was cool. I really enjoyed every part of that. I also really loved how genuinely crazy Michael Keaton was. When he was screaming at himself, I thought that was some of the best content in the whole movie. The way he was throwing stuff around his room and looking at himself in the mirror and saying, I look like a turkey with leukemia. Like I laughed hard during that. But my favorite line was when Mike Shiner, he walks into he's about to walk into a bar, and Reagan looks at him and goes, where are you going? He looks at, and he says, they have coffee here. And as soon as they walk inside, he pours himself a shot of gin. We should say we have coffee here to
That's
get
exactly
more people to
what we
listen to
should
us.
say.
Maybe if you're not into sipping on alcohol, you can sip on coffee while you're listening to
And
this
it
if you want.
works.
Yeah,
It
we have coffee
literally
here.
works. Alliterately works. It's a C.
Sipping on coffee. Yeah, I like that. There you go.
Sipping on coffee.
Write that down. We're going to start a coffee.
Write it down.
But yeah, no, this movie had a few quotable lines, but that was probably my favorite. Did you have anything in the movie that stuck out to you where you're like, this is going to be stuck in my head now?
I think, and I hate to do this because it was in the trailer, but I love this line so much when he's on top of the building and the woman yells at him and says, is this for real or is it for a film? And he goes, a film. And she goes, you people are full of shit. I love that exchange so much. God, I love it.
That was a great moment. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. When he jumps off the building and just starts flying, that's the point in the movie where I'm like, okay, what am I watching? Like I like how open to interpretation it is, but at the same time, it's like, what is going on here? Like how much of that do you think was in his own head? Because can he really fly? So
that's the thing that the film kind of leaves ambiguous, because
it's the Emma Stone look at the end that throws me off.
Emma Stone look at the end, but also when he takes off his bandages, it's in the shape of a Birdman mask.
Right. It's literally a bird beak that he has as his nose now. It's like he's becoming Birdman.
Exactly. And so like, I think that's the point though, sometimes is like how creative people either see themselves or how they imagine it. But it also just could be Inarritu's like, fuck it, you're a bird. And he could do that.
And Keaton will spend the rest of his Hollywood days as a bird. Yeah.
Dude, he's going to be typecasted. I can't wait till he gets casted in The Ravens again. Or what is it? Fuck it. The Alfred Hitchcock film. The Birds.
The Crow.
The Crow.
Oh. No, The Crow is the one with Skarsgård that has been in developmental hell for who knows how long.
Didn't it just come out though? Did it already come out?
I think it is out, or did come out earlier this year.
The Birds. It's The Birds. He's getting casted as every one of the crows in The Bird. It's just going to be little Michael Keaton heads flying everywhere. And it's just going to be Emma Stone coming back and screaming. Or Michelle Williams coming back and just screaming.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, do you want to hear my Letterboxd review of this movie? Because I
I
still
do.
want to tell you about the drinks that I think go well with it, but I want to get to this too.
I want it. I am so ready for this letterbox review.
All right, so
I'm not even
without
going to go
further
in our
ado,
notes and read it. I just want to experience it.
all right, sit back and sip. Here's my Letterboxd review of Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. It's a lot to process leaving this one, and I love that. My favorite element was the camera work. Birdman's essentially made to be a giant one-shot take moving slowly through each scene so you can follow the characters through their struggles. This made it feel like I was actually getting a taste of what Broadway truly does to a person, because you saw them at their highest and at their lowest, frequently within minutes of each other. It also made me feel like a giant acting showcase was going on in front of me, with everyone showing out on that front. Like I said, I've never enjoyed Ed Norton more, nor have I ever hated him as much as I did in Birdman. I particularly enjoyed the back and forth commentary between Keaton and Lindsay, like I mentioned earlier, and I found it quite convicting for a movie lover like myself that enjoys writing and sharing his thoughts on them. This scene unloaded so much of the film's purpose in a single exchange, and is arguably one of the most engaging portions of the story. This movie is artwork made for artists, which means that some people will turn their noses up at the film's attempt to tell the actor's side of the story. The story itself may overindulge in the drama, but that's showbiz, baby. The jazz beats that help open and close the movie help you infer that this film is going against the grain to get its point across. But it finds its confidence in its boldness, in its willingness to show things how they truly are, no matter how many layers have to be pulled back to get you there. And out of 5 stars, I think I give this one 5. And I hit that like button too. It's 5 out of 5 for me.
I couldn't agree more. Great review.
Thank you.
I personally like the line that you dropped. I'm going to go back here and look. The layers comment. Because then I said, Michael Keaton is Shrek. But my brain's broken.
Oh, donkey. Yeah, he's like
my
an
brain's
onion.
Broken. Excellent review. Excellent review. So tell me about your drinks. How would you, are you making just like a simple cocktail? Are we getting spicy and putting bird flu or something stupid in it?
So I think there's an obvious choice that we have to go with.
What's
that? And it's an aviation cocktail because birds.
Birds. Are they real? No one will know. Maybe that's what he's been saying this whole time. Are birds real?
Wow, just a huge hidden message. Are birds real?
Makes you think.
We should be questioning the legitimacy of actual birds. No, if you could say that I picked this because of the movie's soaring ambition, if you will. But I mean, it's got gin, it's got maraschino liqueur, which is, I mean, I love cherry. And if it's anything like that, I'll take it. It's got creme de violet. Have no idea what that is, but it sounds good. And lemon juice. I've been told it's elegant and it would match the sharp wit of the movie well, based on what I read about this drink. So I think I'd probably be making this one. There's one other one I found that I haven't tried. It's called a Dark and Stormy. It's ginger beer and rum. You put the ginger beer in, I believe, first, and then you pour the rum on top. And it's a pretty dark drink. And they serve it in like a highball glass, and you can kind of,
that's cool.
It's got a really cool dark look to it, but it's kind of like chaotic almost. Like it's all cloudy, and it kind of made me think of Riggins' kind of mental state throughout this movie.
Yeah.
And then I saw a flaming Dr. Pepper, and I thought that explained him even better. So I thought I'd throw that on there too. So
I've never heard of a flaming Dr. Pepper.
Me neither, but I mean, wouldn't you? I'm in. That's apt.
It sounds like Dr. Pepper with Fireball is my guess.
That's actually probably exactly what it is. We'll look that up. But yeah, I mean, anything you'd add to this list, or do any of these sound like the right call?
No, I think honestly, all 3 sound right to me. Especially that Dark and Stormy.
We're drinking for 3 tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't get to make all 3. Okay. I thought we were having all 3 drinks, but
are we having all 3?
Are we? I'm looking at, for listeners, I'm looking at Alexis, my wife. Like, can we?
Producer.
Producer. Editor. Social media, or everything, or
chronically online.
She's our girl in the chair. Yeah, but
She's more than an intern. She's our producer.
I think it has to be Aviation Cocktail, just because of the whole bird undertone, you know?
Good choice. Good choice. That's going to be a fun graphic to make.
Yeah. If Dark and Stormy is easier, do that one and we'll just cut this whole part.
We'll figure it out when we get there. But other than that, do you have any closing thoughts before we go and depart our chairs?
Not really. I mean,
establishment.
I really wanted to get your take on the Emma Stone story with Shiner and how she's like obsessed with him. Like, is that strictly just like a rebellious kind of outburst against her dad, or is she like trying to become her own person? Like, what's so enthralling about him to her? Because that was the one part of the movie I think I couldn't really fully understand. But I think that's also because there's so many like interpretations.
It's definitely a sub element for sure, a subplot of the whole piece to it. But I think it is a little bit of becoming her own person. I mean, she also, I think, is attracted to him because she has a history with addiction too. And he has an addictive personality. That would be
what would you say Mike Shiner's addicted to? Fame?
Attention.
Fame. Yeah, he's not famous, but he's known.
He's known. He's addicted to himself.
Addicted to himself.
Obsessed with himself.
All right, this is getting too personal. We gotta stop it here.
We're sorry, Edward Norton.
No, I meant for me.
Oh, whoops.
I see.
Sorry.
If I could be totally transparent, I see way too much of myself in this movie with the self-absorption and the lack of focus on anything that doesn't, directly benefit you, or
I get that.
The lack of sympathy. These are all identifiable things in my life that I know I'm working on.
Yeah.
So I know I'm a step above this character, but it was very revealing and very convicting, like I've said several times now, to see all of that and to see the consequences of it later on in an actor's life. So if anything, this movie's motivating,
Films do that.
They do.
There have been times I've watched a character and I was like, damn, you know?
Right. No, I mean, that's how movies have been for me for a long time, is that I feel like I can learn more from that than from a textbook sometimes. But
yeah.
But that's because they don't teach you the important things in a textbook.
No, they don't. That's why we need film.
What textbook
sometimes
is even talking
tell
about?
Us.
But I let you do the outro last time, so I would.
You want to take a stab at it?
No, I was.
Oh, you want me to do it again?
Yeah,
I can do it again.
I really liked the last one.
This is probably, I will say, as a first run through, this was the hardest thing for me because I'm used to writing when I was on She'll Rock You every single line I was going to say. And I would just read it.
See, that feels so like restricting, It
is, but because I could also then improvise on the spot. And then because I was only doing audio and not video,
they couldn't see
I
the
could
fear in
read
your
it.
eyes.
I could read it and treat it like a voiceover. So, but it also allowed me to improvise as well. Whenever a joke would come, kind of work with it. But I say that because this was my first one leading it. And it's just like, oh man, these are muscles that I am going to work out on this show. And I am excited about it.
I'm getting Bethanne out of her shell, everyone. Everything was rehearsed up until now.
I got that shit memorized for 3 years doing an outro.
Hey, Thomas had a great one on Lights, Thunder, Action. I was always impressed with how well he'd crank that out.
Oh yeah. He got that good voice for it too.
Oh, he's so good. TCR's good at everything.
He really is. Anyway, thanks for joining us for Sipping on Cinema. If you like our show, please give us a review on wherever you get your podcasts. Also, be sure to follow us on any social media channel. Well, we're not on any social media channel. We're only on 2. And that is Twitter, otherwise known as X, at Sipping on Cinema Pod. Right, producer?
I don't think there's pod.
No.
Producer saying no pod. She's saying it's just Sipping on Cinema.
We're going to keep rolling. It is Sipping on Cinema, or you can find us on Instagram at Sipping on Cinema. Other than that, if you got any questions, suggestions, want to just leave a snarky ass comment, I love them. Please send us an email at sippingoncinema@gmail.com.
Is that correct? No, it's just sippingoncinema@gmail.com.
Damn. sippingoncinema@gmail.com.
All right. This is why we write the outro ahead of time, I guess.
You know, here's the thing. I need to write what each one is.
We're just not going to get any of our mail, and it's fine. But you can find us on pretty much anything at Sipping on Cinema. Bethanne, where can people find you? Do you want people to find you?
Yeah, that's a great question. If I don't want you to find me, you can find me like at marysmith.com. If I do want you to find me, you can find me at Bethanne Tarpley. Those are both my handles for Twitter and Instagram. That's where I interact the most. What about you, JRB?
You can find me on Letterboxd or Twitter or Instagram. I'm currently workshopping my username right now. It's JRB_direct at most things. But yeah, working on a little rebranding for myself. So more to come on that. But find us at Sipping on Cinema. Please interact with us. We're so lonely. No, but we definitely want to hear from you. We're doing this to entertain and to have fun and to connect with people. So let us know what you think. If there's anything you want us to talk about, if there's anything you want us to drink, we're particularly open to those suggestions because just as much as we're trying to find our next favorite film, I'm trying to find a good whiskey. I don't really have a good sipping whiskey, and I know Bethanne doesn't because she's still buying these shooters.
Let me tell you,
I do love that glass, that green glass.
I'll find you one and send you one.
Super cool.
Let me tell you, this was delicious because it didn't taste like whiskey, and that's what I loved about it. It tasted like caramel with some ice to just get out of there. No choking for me.
Well, I'm glad my co-host was able to get through this on her ice drink. Until next time, we'll find an alcohol we like drinking. Keep sipping.
Keep sipping.